On the episode 9 of the NWA Flashback series, not bad, quite professional. Joined once again by Lissy Almeida and John Jacobs in 3 different locations, 3 very different parts of life, should we say? But hey, JJ is in beast mode. Lissy, you're in Boston. We're looking forward to watching some Mid-Atlantic wrestling from 1985. JJ, you've said you've been quite enjoying this little era of Jim Crockett Promotions.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm still a bit annoyed at the Raw that you made us watch last time. So happy to
last
get
week.
back into it's last week. Yeah, happy to get back into some Mid-Atlantic Championship wrestling where
Redeem
Rick
yourself.
and Dusty and the boys, they never let me down.
Yeah, exactly. The best intro. And let's say we're on the back of Starcade. This is the formation of probably the hottest period of the NWA, just the birth of the 4 Horsemen and then Dusty Rhodes and Magnum and the Rock and Roll and the Midnights and Cornette.
Yeah, I think I'm very excited to see the beginnings of the Hoffman, as you like to say. Obviously, we were not around at this time, and you know, we saw the '90s version of the Horseman, which, in my opinion, is still one of, you know, I love the '90s Horseman. Don't get me wrong; there was a lot of variations, but always good to see the original Horseman and see where they started. I've been really enjoying a lot of the tag team wrestling, Rock and Roll Express. I love that we have our boy Jim Cornette still with the promotion during this time. Yeah, all his good promos, a lot of quick matches. It's really fast paced, so I think JJ will be much more, much happier than he was for our previous episode.
Yeah, 5-minute match, 3-minute promo, 5-minute match. Bob Caudle doing a nice segue. It flows a lot better than Raw from '96, and we will learn from our mistakes. It's what you should be doing at life. But I digress. Right, we are going to put it on the network. JJ, give us the address for the fine folks out there, please.
This is Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling 99372, Sabre 2185.
And if you are joining Lissy on the cock, Lissy, where do you go to?
For the Cockers, it is Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, Season 13, Episode 51, December 21st, 1985. We
have got Dusty Rhodes, Dan Anderson, Magnum tier, and more, and we will click play in 3, 2, 1. We're starting with Tully Blanchard and his perfect 10 baby doll.
Look at that gown.
Tully has just lost the United States title to Magnum at Starcade. This is presumably they're having a look back at it. Tully would have his robes done at the same place as Ric Flair, Olivia Walker, who I think, if I remember correctly, that was the Greg Valentine's wife who would make all their robes.
No intro?
You know, if this ends up being re-released, I'd like to think we should get a contribution of royalties.
We should.
Do you know what? I might actually try and get a T-shirt with this because it is becoming more and more
best
iconic.
Intro ever.
And just that old. I presume that map is what, Florida, the Carolinas.
That's Virginia. The original. That's the original South.
This is the Rock and Roll Express that just beat the Russians to become tag champions at Starcade. I love Bob Caudle's voice.
It's a beautiful voice.
They could work, but good Lord, they couldn't talk.
Just, yeah.
In this era as well, it was the go-to of people who were struggling pros. Let me tell you something.
Yep.
Like, Hulk could get away with that because he'd elaborate. But let me tell you something, baby.
Well, Hulk with the let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Oh, well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Brother.
Yeah, as like a 4 or 5-year-old kid, I loved it. You look back, you think, yeah.
Yeah, that was the good opener.
Robert Gibson is borrowing Shawn Michaels' vision.
Will you stop?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being cross-eyed. I can't.
Relentless. First of all, he's not cross-eyed, he's cockeyed. Relentless.
Rock and roll, it's here to stay, baby. Woo!
Honestly, their hair wasn't even that bad here. Like, these were not the worst of the mullets for that time.
Good looking Barney, yeah. Good mullets.
Yeah.
Let's go to the ring. Oh.
How did you know? Here he
is. He would have been a huge star for Vince.
US heavyweight champ.
Oh, definitely.
Who's he against?
This will last, which is what I tell the. On a good day. On a good day. The girls screaming. That wasn't the best idea. You don't really get that anymore, do you? Girls screaming at wrestling matches.
That the US champ really means business because he came out in a hurry.
Usually, when did that end?
On Friday.
With that belt back in his position, a lot of top talent are lined up.
How long is this one gonna go? Is this like a 2-minute match, Jack?
Honestly, Magnum TV matches will never go beyond 2 minutes. He toys with them for about 30-40 seconds. You will see him throw him into the ropes, belly to belly suplex him and pin him. If memories are anything to go by. Nice fireman's carry.
I have such an appreciation for the cowboy.
Good wrestling maneuver, fireman's carry takedown. A lot of points will be scored by Magnum. He's going for that.
If you ever go back up to Georgia Championship Wrestling from like the early 80s, Gordon Soder, he basically loved to tell you that he knew all the moves.
So that is a arm drag suplex.
I just the crowd is cheering for a knee to the arm.
Magnum had to go through a lot of tough battles that Tony Blanchard for. He's able to get that U.S. belt back. I quit match with the Starcade was a big victory for Magnum. There's a lot of people going to line up for that belt right now.
This could be it. Big fan belly.
Yes.
I mean, these girls are very. Oh, he didn't want to go to the ropes there. He made.
No, these girls are like really going hard with the screens.
See you later.
And Magnum comes out. Again, squash matches are fine. I really do think we should have more. When Wardlow, was it this week or last week? Wardlow beat the bejesus out of that guy. That's hilarious.
Yeah, like if you want to build somebody up properly, then you have to give them those types of matches at least. I mean, especially in the beginning.
2-minute jobs are good. Yeah, exactly.
Few,
Look at the girls. The first. The American Dream.
There it is.
I'm pretty sure I've edited this before. And there are some great one-liners in here.
TV title belongs to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, because
who's that on his
there was
shirt?
no man put Dusty Rhodes' shoulder to the ground to defeat me for the world's television title. Now with a big tournament coming up, January the 4th, Dusty Rhodes is gearing for that thing. Secondly, just returned from Kansas City, Missouri, talking to Bob Gaggle extensively. Actually sat across the table from the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Actually seen him eyeball to eyeball, wondering about what his next move going to be. He is the world's heavyweight champion, they say. They say nothing about Dusty Rhodes defeating Ric Flair Starcade 85, which I did. So Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, the Slick Rick, if you will, down the road, that is what we're going to have to deal with now. Is because I want that more than anything. Well, I came back from a serious injury to be what I am right here. Defeated you, 1, 2, 3. Iron Ole Anderson somewhere down the road. I'm going to start hurting somebody now. I'm going to start taking care of business and hurting somebody. You know, when I was really bad off and I had that leg laid up, I got a little place out in Colorado that I go to in Dusty Rhodes. I went up to Colorado and I called a few of my ex, if you will, fiancés. There was 10 of them. They came out there and I was there in a little room and they say, they all talking. I can hear them talking outside. And they say, I don't know what to do to the Dream. And Betty Lou is my favorite squeeze. You know, she said, well, let me go in and talk to him. 4 hours later, she came back out with a big smile on her face. And Ric Flair, this is what she says. You can't keep a good man down, baby.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes fans. We'll be right back. We'll have more after we take this brief time out.
Can we talk about he's wearing a watch over his wrist tape?
That's right, Daddy. The Dream, the way. Dusty's got 10 ex-fiancées. And he got them all round in one room and then went and shagged them all. 4 hours later, they came out.
There's a lot going on.
So Dusty was the world TV champion. He had the belt stolen from him from Arn Anderson, and that's leading to a tournament. He also beat Ric Flair clean at Starcade. So Dusty's booking. He's put himself in a nice spot here. He keeps getting screwed, ultimately.
Is this the same Starcade where he got the title taken back off him the night after?
Yeah. So
Right,
this is we're like a month after that.
Yeah. Got it.
So he should be the world TV champion. He should be the world champion. He's been dilled out of both. So
Yep.
Dusty's able to come out and save face, I suppose, on telly.
Who's the absolute monster in the ring right now?
This is the Barbarian.
Barbarian.
And Abdullah the Butcher. I still don't get. Abdullah was huge in Japan in like the 70s and 80s, but you watching it, he's just a big fat bloke with a massive forehead scarred to smithereens.
I mean, he can move around a bit for a man his size, but I mean, from a wrestling skill perspective, didn't really do anything for us. I don't know.
Like wrestling fans were a lot more. They didn't mind too much. If you couldn't do too much in the ring, they kind of liked the look of the huge giant that did it.
I mean, but
did the job.
Like, think about it. Like in Japan, there weren't a lot of like African American like big stars, so he was just like this big guy, and he also did he like box a lot of other people out from being able to travel to Japan with the bookers. So I mean, I've seen and I've read a lot of those stories about him.
To use the Vince McMahon, he was just an attraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at him, you think, wow, that's a really strange looking look. He'd have
Exactly
death matches with a lot of the big Japanese baby faces like Inoki or Baba out there.
Yeah, he's a big bad.
And they obviously look better by beating someone of his look and size.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like Dusty Rhodes. Would I be right in saying I've never heard? I can't think of a white man ever sounding that soulful or sounding like he should be from like Louisiana, or you know what I mean? That void, that cadence in his soul, baby.
You had not up until him, and you have not after him either. He's one of a kind.
Like in my head, if you're blind and you've been watching wrestling all your life, the dream does not look like that. That's number one, Paul Jones, one of the worst managers of all time.
You hate him.
He's just not very good.
No, he was around for a while.
Just hate that hair. That haircut has just always bothered me. What do you call it?
You jealous?
Bowl cut?
You jealous?
I'd rather be bald than look like that.
Fair enough.
Are we going to do a hair episode today?
Every week is a hair episode.
It really is.
JJ, your beard is looking particularly well groomed today. Is it fresh off a recent trim?
He's ready for the weekend.
Appreciate that. Yeah. You know what? We had our Christmas night out with our team on Wednesday. So Tuesday, went and made sure I had a fresh trim for the occasion.
I was happy watching Jimmy here, and I got guilt tripped into being logged into somebody's Fight TV account. Goodbye.
I honestly didn't mean to guilt trip you. I didn't even realize you were logged in. I was logged in at the same time. We can both watch simultaneously. It wasn't an issue for me, but I was too drunk.
I was going to say the money's still gone out.
I was too drunk.
Too drunk. I was out from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until about 2 o'clock in the morning. So.
Yeah. See, my work group and I were going for our dinner this evening, but we're all like friends too, so we're doing it on a Friday to prevent that, the next day work hangover. So at least if we're a little tired tomorrow, it's Saturday, it's fine.
I'm gonna have to dinner with all my work friends as well tonight.
You yourself and yourself?
No, he's taking all the t-shirts out.
Me with my Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes voices in the background.
What is happening? What type of pinning combination is this?
No, that was just the post-match beatdown, I think.
No, what? Big splash. Nice looking elbow, in fairness.
Yeah. That was it.
You're not getting it from that.
Not when you've got that on top of you.
That's what she said. Oh my God, there's a video going around of David Brent meeting Michael Scott. Have you seen this, Lisa?
No, I've not.
I'll have to send you it. It's phenomenal. It makes a that's what she said joke, and they basically give that look as if did we just become best friends?
This is
Look at Abdullah. Look at him.
yeah, this is disturbing.
Yeah.
Paul Jones's army. But look at the forehead. I can't understand. See, Paul Jones's outfits, I've never understood the ruffled shirt. Abdullah's clearly supposed to be unhinged here.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, in terms of money drawing heels, they were never going to be top attractions in the Carolinas, which was a bit more, I want to say, work rate type environment. You know, when you got Flair and Tully and the Andersons being more legitimate compared to these clowns.
Well, but, I mean, I don't necessarily think Barbarian is in the same category of clown as Abdullah the Butcher.
No, but he's kind of, because he's there with him, it's like almost by
affiliation. I mean, we know Barbarian had his best years when he was as part of the Powers of Pain with the Warlord. So
yeah,
he hadn't gotten there yet. He was almost there though.
You're getting a prime look at the forehead there.
Yeah.
Man, that's seen some Stanley Knives in its time. Does a Stanley knife translate into America?
Not to everyone.
A little blade that Scally would go around to threaten you with it in the 80s and 90s.
The crowd are going wild for what?
This must be the rock and roll.
There you go.
Because the noise is unreal here.
Why were they so popular?
Ricky and Robert. So they kind of took off in Mid-South in early '85, and they had a big program with the Midnight came across here, and because Ricky Morton sold like he was going to die. Like he would get beat over 20 minutes and beat all the girls on the front row. He's screaming, "Please help me." Then they'd cling on, survive, and win the match, and the crowd would go bananas. Like Flair's new podcast is very good, Woo and Censor with Mark Madden, and he said the 3 best sellers of all time. Because he was asked for top 5. Well, there's only 3: Shawn Michaels, Ricky Steamboat, Ricky Morton, and the girls loved all 3 because they were in jeopardy. And yeah, and Ricky Morton was phenomenal shagger in this time. Oh.
So you've heard.
Huh?
So you've heard.
Oh, I'm trying to look. What a mask that is. Right, so this is a slow start. This is again in terms of your JJ pacing wise. We've seen what 2 interviews and 2 matches already, and we're 15 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see Bart Gunn work a hold on Billy Gunn.
You know, I don't mind. I don't have an issue with the Guns.
You don't have an issue with the Guns. You have an issue with me.
You know, I love you, really, Jack.
You've got to keep the gimmick.
This was a flat end to a show that went rapidly downhill after the first segment. That was the sad part.
I'm trying to work out who the hell's in this match with these guys. Terra and Rossi. Right, yeah. Don't know who these 2 are. Can you believe Ricky Morton and the Rock and Roll Express are wrestling FTR next month in the Carolinas?
Say that again.
The Rock and Roll Express here. So everyone compares FTR to Arn and Tully.
I see.
But they are more the Midnight Express. I mean, look at the cornet vibes, the theme, the trunks. They base their style on Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And they've always wanted to wrestle the Rock and Roll. Remember they did that angle last year, didn't they, where they give them a spike pile driver, and it never went anywhere. So there's a big anniversary show basically in the Carolinas next month, and they're wrestling the Rock and Roll here.
I did see that, and I think it's interesting. I mean, it's cool to be able to wrestle like your idols or people that you looked up to growing up.
Yeah.
It's just like, how much longer can these guys go? That's my only question.
Oh, Flair's come on, didn't he? I've got one last run in me, brother.
Yeah.
Did
Sammy
you see
Guevara, I'm coming for you.
Leave Sammy alone.
Did you
Rick's
see
taken
Sammy
too many
put a really
F-bombs.
nice photo of him with Jeff Hardy yesterday?
I did see that. Yeah,
That was
I saw
really
a lot
cute.
of I saw a lot of you know, WWE and, you know, other talent. I said talent like I work there. Posting positive message and things like that. And I think that's what he needs.
We
obviously
don't really
Jeff
know.
gets the help he
Yeah,
needs.
we don't know what's happened with Jeff. But
Exactly.
The rumors were that he turned down rehab, right, and WWE have let him go. So if that's the case, and he's in a bad place, which from the videos that we've all seen looks like he is. Let's just hope that things get better for him soon.
All good vibes sending to him.
And so all of us, yeah. Double drop kick. That was, can you believe this is a finisher in
The move.
1985?
I know. Well, people didn't do drop kicks every match back then. That wasn't.
I can't get over their ring gear though. I don't get it.
The bandanas everywhere.
It's like they have just tied them on around their legs.
They just.
Maybe they did.
It was 1985.
Could you say this is so 80s?
There was. It is so 80s. Like there was nothing. There was not a lot of like mass production. There wasn't a lot of accessibility to things.
When I look at it, I just see in my head, I see the Cyndi Lauper Girls Just Want to Have Fun video.
I mean, it's spot on for the time.
No, let's track it because this is Magnum. You can tell he's been groomed to be the next world heavyweight champion already here in 1985. But obviously, you'd have that car crash. That's a fresh recent blade job, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
I always credit to Magnum, right? His Tash always looked in tremendous nick.
Oh yeah, he's very well groomed in that department.
You're always a fan of the hair, right? They say.
Always a fan of the hair. I especially admire the curly mullet because that was a whole different, you know, set of requirements and maintenance back then. The perm, come on.
You're thinking of the upkeep.
Yeah.
I actually think the curly looks better than the straight mullet.
Yeah, I like it.
Gotta be said. That's what I'm trying to get Seb's hair to go like.
First of all, he has the most beautiful curls.
Correct. Not my doing in any way.
Well, has his hair always been curly? Because Little P, her hair is straight, right?
Yeah. He came out bald, and then as his hair grew, yeah, it just went curly. Like once it got past a certain length, she came out with a lot of straight hair, but we'll see if that sticks around.
Yeah, we'll see. It changes for most of them.
Yeah. But Nicole's like
George was originally blonde, and now he's going really ginger. That poor kid.
Like mine. I'm sporting it today, guys. We're natural.
A little bit of the change, if you will, baby. That must be Anna and Ollie, right? Let's try. Let's actually see if I can track it and not fuck it up, shall we?
Let's do it.
Stay up to it.
And also, well, I'm going to tell you
double A and white
precisely and concisely what it's all about. You've thrown the best that you can put together to come get these national tag team titles. You've come up short every time.
America's 25 or 26.
You've come up short.
Or 45.
Coddle, a thing that's pressing on my mind. We are the national tag team champions. There's nothing you can do about that. But the mark of a good athlete is to be able to overcome adversity.
This is funny because
so Dusty Rhodes,
so much older and they look the same age.
Hit me in the back of the head with a chair and took my world television title. But I'm just going to win that tournament and show the whole world I am truly the world television champion.
Ole, you got that smile on your face. We come out here and we've got all these people talking about the Rock and Roll Express, talking about Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes, wait till I get a hold of you, Wahoo McDaniel's looking for us. Well, everybody's looking. Now, why is it that we're so hard to find? Here we are on national television all over the world. This TV goes to
All
Europe,
over
it
the
goes
world.
to Japan, it goes all over the United States, it goes to Hawaii, it goes to Guam, it goes to every country that's got a TV set and reception.
It really
So
is.
who in the world is having a hard time finding us? Rock and roll, it's a disgrace to have somebody like the Rock and Roll Express, even in wrestling. They got all those little armbands around them. They got all little trinkets around their head. Does that make them a good wrestler? You better look at this face and look at that one. You're going to see some knots. You're going to see a bunch of scars. We didn't get it from playing rock and roll. We didn't get it from walking around with little handkerchiefs around our leg. We got it because we stuck our nose in there and we wrestled. We do that better than anybody in the world today, and that's why we're the champions. If you have any acceptance of that, you have any doubt about it, try us out, because we're always ready for anybody.
The National Tag Team
That's how you got a promo.
Yep. Don't gotta get
one of the first times I've heard Ollie proper going for it, and yeah, fair play. And Arn just standing there looking mean, like, here's my title, I'm a badass. Deal
ready.
They just look legitimate, yeah. Like, and that's why you get the two teams would face the next Starrcade in '86, and an Ollie against the Rock and Roll. And again,
the trinkets around your head.
They just basically beat the Rock and Roll up for 30 minutes, and then they boom the roll up. And even when the match finished, carried on beating them up until they fell out the ring. Hilarious. All right, so we've got Manny Fernandez here, the Raging Bull, against another guy with the stash and curls look. He was so popular.
And he has very similar looks. He has a little blonde patch in the back too, so he's really spicy.
Spicy.
This is a true mullet, by the way.
Do you think, so we're watching this from 85 now, do you think in, say, 20 years time, you'll get people going back and watching from like 2005 or 2015?
What, WWF?
And saying what?
WWE?
Just wrestling in general. Like, we've been watching WWF and we've been watching some NWA. Like, do you think people will be going back as we're watching from 35 years ago? Do you think people were watching 25, 30? If you're in 2041 and you go back 35 years, it's 2006.
I don't think they'd necessarily watch the weekly shows, because like now, you know, you want to go back and watch a Raw and a SmackDown from a particular week. That's 5 hours of television. I just think people aren't really going to do it, and they just weren't that good in that era. But there was definitely some really good pay-per-views in that time that are like worth going back and watching.
I think, yes, definitely. You're going to have those iconic times. Like, you have like a WrestleMania 17 where it's like, you could watch it. I can watch it every week. You know, it's just so good. There's like 1992 Royal Rumble. I'll watch it anytime, any place. You know what I'm saying? There's just like certain stuff that kind of sticks out regardless of how good or bad the rest of the content was at that time. So yeah, I think there is going to be some of that. You have to think about that time too. If we're talking just about like WWE, that's like a lot of Cena's time. And he, you know, when we, in that time, you're gonna be like, oh, Cena's, you know, gonna be significantly older. And they're like, oh, you should have seen John Cena when he was young. And that, I think that would probably like bring that interest. Like when people are like, you should see Bruno Sammartino when he was young. Like that's what we watch for.
I just always find it fascinating because there is such a drive for nostalgia at the minute. Mm-hmm. You think I always think WWE, who will they be bringing back in 15, 20 years time as like a bit of a nostalgia pop?
It's Cena. It has to be Cena.
You need to have more than like one guy you can be relying on, surely.
So it's going to be the Cena. So it's going to be like Cena, Roman, Rollins. It's going to be these guys, honestly.
They'll also get the stars that AEW build but let go for whatever reason, or WWE get out of their contract.
Yeah.
They get MJF. Imagine if they had MJF coming out on WWE in 10 years' time, like that would be a huge moment.
So guys, I just want to put this out there, and just, you never know how things work. Jack, in 20 years or whatever period, WWE might not even be a company anymore.
Yeah, agreed.
You know,
agreed.
So it could be really nostalgic by that time.
That's very true. Yeah, when Disney controls it all.
I was just thinking, like, something that will be like really interesting to go back and watch in like 20, 30 years time will be the WrestleMania without fans and the Money in the Bank that they did without fans. Like, that'll be kind of such a iconic like little moment in time.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this time in wrestling is like, people are gonna be like, how the hell do they even do that? But I think about it too. Something good did come from that WrestleMania without fans, because that was the first 2-night WrestleMania, and then now that's the standard. Which, as a person who plans to attend these events, I would prefer to have a 2-night WrestleMania, because you're not watching like 8 hours of wrestling all at once too. It breaks it up nicely.
Yeah, and it also gave us Drew McIntyre as world champion, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Although that would have happened whether the fans were there or not, to be fair.
Yeah. So while I don't think that there's as many of that, nostalgia-based talent that could come back, but I think it's probably a good handful.
Yeah, it's a weird. I'm just thinking, because you can bring back a lot of, like, you'd say, mid-card guys from the Attitude Era now. Someone like The Godfather or Val Venus, they're going to get a great reception. I'm thinking, who's in the mid-card now? Like, I'm thinking champions, but is it what's the big,
like a Cesaro or a
Cesaro or a Nakamura?
Sheamus.
Would they get a similar reaction in 20 years bringing them back?
I think they brought back John Morrison and Shelton Benjamin recently, and then they've both been let go now because.
But yeah, they were hired. They were first hired 20 years ago, and they've been brought back to wrestle again.
Yeah. But they didn't. But no one cared.
First of all,
that's the point I was making. Is it the fact that you're diluting these guys?
Tully's talking.
You're trying to, and that's fine.
Baby doll doesn't look too happy.
So Tully never said I quit. They will go on this for the next 6 months.
Yeah, we know.
Tully's mad.
Can I know that it was, for the time, but she didn't really do anything. She doesn't do anything for me.
She does in 86.
Okay.
They were just kind of making her a presence.
Okay.
I was watching World Championship Wrestling from December the 6th, 86. She got a great promo.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to
see that. My perfect 10. She sides with Dusty within the next 6 weeks. Another guy, look at the pinky ring on both hands.
He's a G.
Is that a sign of like a? I said to the missus I wanted to get one. She was like, absolutely not.
Well, I just told you he's a G. Like, you have to have a certain, a certain presence and a certain.
You're trying to say I don't listen?
No, it's just,
I could be a G.
No, it might not go with Jack. It might not go with your everyday style. I think that's what
I need to change my wardrobe to right.
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. You can't just pull up with a pinky ring. It has to be a package deal.
You could, but you look like a knobhead, basically. Right, we've got the Enforcer AA.
Be some exciting match. Two pretty evenly matched individuals with size and muscle composure.
Did
but
Arn
Anderson up there in the ring. Ole Anderson right here at ringside. Ole, you look very intense as you're watching the beginning of the match.
Well, you made a comment about being equal in size. That may be true, but there's certainly other things to be considered, like skill and experience.
I love to blame the white trunks.
When you talk about skill and experience, then you've got to definitely be in favor of Arn Anderson.
And those two things are really hard to overcome, Ole.
There's no way that you're going to get it in a couple of days or a year or 15 years of amateur wrestling. The only way you're going to get it is by going out there.
Tell you what,
wrestling is a ball game unto itself. Nothing like it in the world.
I heard you say earlier that you and Arn have paid your dues, that you came the hard way, that you took the knocks and the things that it took to do it, Ole, and that's the reason that you're at the top.
Is there any question? You interview a lot of people. You see them out here. There's some guys that get by because they're good looking and they know some wrestling, but it comes right down to getting in there and having to fight. If you put them into a snake pit, maybe they'd back out. They want to make sure everything is just so everybody follows the rules. They want to make sure that the referee is always there to help them if they're in trouble. The Andersons don't worry about referees. We don't worry about rules. We don't worry if you want to bring in anything at all. That's why this bunkhouse stampede match is right down our alley. $20,000, everybody wants the money. But who wants to get in there and grub like you've got to in order to win that money? The Andersons the only team I know that are
it's a lot of money now.
Yeah, back then it was a lot of money.
If you read the Road Warriors book, they write that
it was like $300 back then.
The Road Warriors won the Crockett Cup in '86, which was for $1 million. And Hawk was devastated
a couple
when
of
he
blows,
realized
but he came back with
it
return punch only, so he's going to dish it out as well as take it then. If anybody lands a blow, they're going to have to take him back from Arn.
Tell you what, we know we're going to get hurt. We know we're going to have to expect to get a couple of punches. In fact, we'll many times go out there and willingly take a couple of punches from somebody because when we take them and our opponent sees that it doesn't phase us, then all of a sudden he starts to wonder, what in the world have I got here? Who am I talking to? What kind of a man am I wrestling? And of course, now our reputation precedes us everywhere we go. People know. There's still a few diehards around. Still a Dusty Rhodes that hasn't learned. There's still a Magnum TA that's being tutored by Dusty Rhodes. So the same sort of thinking goes through his head. That's almost non-thinking. And you've got people like the Rock and Roll Express who are riding so high on emotion. Somebody needs to bring him back down.
Let me tell you something now. They made believers of me when not once but twice they defeated the Russians. Not many teams can say that.
No, but let me ask you this. Because the New York Yankees lose a game, does that mean they're not any good? You're going to tell me because the Chicago Bears lost one here a week ago that they're not a good football team? So if the Russians lose one, or if Tony Blanchard loses one, or even if the Andersons lose one, does that mean we're any less a champion? Ric Flair loses one, does that mean he's not a champion? Of course not. You got to look at the long haul. Out of 1,000 matches, if the Russians win 999, you talk about the one. Out of 1,000 matches, if Flair wins 999, you talk about the one. That's what Dusty does. He talks about the one. That's what Magnum does. He talks about the one. And this kid in the ring right there is going to be talking about 2 seconds. But already he got tired. He got choked up. Arn is cool, calm, and gives him a knee right where he needs it. Right in the face, right in the chest. Good wrestling move. A sit-out and a kick in the guts will do it every time.
Oh, he's really selling the idea that just saw him talking about Ric Flair there. He mentioned that they want to get back at Dusty Rhodes.
Anderson maneuver there, he took 4 or 5 shots, but he got that good one in. The one that counted and kept the tide of battle on his side. Well, Ole just made that point a few moments ago that the Andersons are willing to take a shot. 2 or 3 or 4 to get one good blow of their own in. I think they have just that much confidence in their own ability to be able to deliver that one punch that's a telling blow.
Not only a confidence in the ability to deliver that one blow, but the ability to withstand several blows.
I can't see a train
remember looking at people who were really great at wrestling and just couldn't stand the pain and the punishment.
All right, come on now. Grab us up there.
We can stand it. Arn right now is taking it. But you watch, see how that kid labors up or stands up when Arn starts coming back at him.
The expression there,
there was that opening, and Arn did not.
Godbuster time, baby.
Take advantage of it. This could be curtains.
Bye. That's all she wrote.
I won't do those. I won't do what you just did.
Oh, yeah, Ricky Reeves shoulders to the mat. You can hear from Arn Anderson, and you see it.
And that's setting up the TV title tournament coming up.
I realised who Arn looks like.
Go on.
You ever watch 13 Reasons Why?
No.
Okay.
But go on.
For anyone who has, there's a character called Bryce Walker. And I reckon Bryce Walker in like 15 years will look like what Arn Anderson looks like here. Even though actually I guess they're probably quite a similar age.
Jack, I think JJ's just giving you your next meme.
What?
Nah.
Well, a side by side, but you have to Google who this is because we have no idea.
It's a lot of work for her. No. No, you're all right. I'll let JJ make it. There you go, JJ. Go on to the Mainly Wrestling page. Oh, Lucy, we've got to get some posts out as well. We need to start filling up the grids.
Tell me what to do, boss.
I'll send you some material. I've got a big folder of stuff.
I know you do. I've been waiting. My thumbs are ready.
I know, right? You're gonna be mad. Woo! So that's Anne is not happy. Should be happy he's won a match. See, Anne's talking about the gram. What's a candy gram? No.
It's probably something relevant of the time.
Yeah. Ollie Anderson is. Oh, Anne's angry.
Yeah. They've taken up a good amount of time today. Yeah. They don't usually do the before and after.
This is the equivalent of like when your mate's cutting a promo on someone and you're in the background going, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That might be an arguing with the bouncers meme. Yeah, I don't care when you're not here. We're going to come back in here in this club and cause hell, daddy.
Shut up. He said, when you're not here, we're going to come back.
Hey, look, no context play. 21,000 on Instagram now.
Woo.
Let's see if we get shut down again.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You deserve it.
Yeah, no. I earned it.
You earned it.
Yeah, hanger. Nikita.
Russians are here. Say some nonsensical stuff.
I just feel like we need to make a montage of all the amazing foreheads we've seen in this show so far.
It's bad, isn't it?
Do you know what the thing that always strikes Ivan Koloff? Do you not think it's very strange facial hair?
Yeah.
It's just the corners missing there.
Yeah. I think
why?
Some they don't. Is that intentional or does he just not grow hair in that patch?
I think it's a style choice.
Like
it looks too perfect.
You almost get the impression it's the baby faces are either clean shaven or have mustaches in this period of time, and all the heels generally have goatees or beards. Yeah. This is the idea of that. In my head, Bob Backlund, he was the ultimate baby face for WWF in the early 90s, clean shaven, wholesome all-American boy.
But Ric Flair was clean shaven the whole way.
I've never seen Flair with any facial hair ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
On the best deal in the biz.
Never will.
Yeah. It's like I always remember seeing the picture of. Did you see Stone Cold when he had that specific? He had like this. So he had the goatee without the mustache when he was doing some film in 2003,
right.
And he just looks like a massive raving nonce. There's no other way to say. He looks like he should be on a D-wing somewhere.
This crowd is going crazy.
The Road Warriors.
What we've worked out is that I am the heel and you guys are the baby faces, which I think is probably accurate.
I don't know, but JJ, I don't know if you're a heel because it's not all the time.
JJ is a heel.
It's not.
He
has some moments.
Definitely a heel. It's the dry northern heel. It's a dry, not let's say northern. It's just the little one-liners in now and again. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's more the Tully Blanchard rather than the like the Russians.
So what you're saying is, I think he's Jerry, Who's JR and who's Vince? Am I Vince?
You calling me
The three
Jerry?
He's the king.
Lawler?
You're Vince. I'm JR.
Well,
Has to be
you're gonna be
Jerry, I
if you want to
quit.
be the heel, that's who you are.
So that's a fact.
Sorry.
They're not the only people in the wrestling industry, you know.
Well, I'm just
No
saying
shit,
stuff.
Jonathan. Lord.
Heel turn incoming.
Incoming. Man, look at the traps on Nikita. Do you know he'd only been wrestling like a year here. The Road he used to go training in the Road Warriors gym that they owned in Minnesota. And Hawkins went up to him saying, "Hey man, you ever thought of wrestling?" And that was it. They took him on the road, and before they would get people in the buildings, they spend it. Well, yeah, he didn't do that well. They'd spend an hour trying to train him like most nights, but it took him a long time to get it.
Yeah.
I'll be Taz, right?
Oh my god.
Jack will be Excalibur, and
You took exception. So I'm Tony?
Wait, no.
Is that a bad thing? You're the wholesome one.
Yeah.
You're the one that people love. Yeah, you're Tony.
Yeah, you're Tony, yeah.
Like, if you put it this way, if one of the three of us went to interview somebody and they had a microphone slapped out their hands, if they did it to you, it would get more heat than it would to me or John.
Oh, of course. I mean, but I'm also a woman, so that wouldn't be as nice to look at.
But if JJ was interviewing someone and like, yeah, it's JJ. Yeah, let's see, I made us out with the steak. Not Lissy. But
the best part is, out of the three of us, if that actually happened, most likely to punch them would be me. It's balanced.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
It's balanced.
I would just choke them out, you know.
JJ would just make us like, oh, you're hard.
JJ going straight for the jugular. He said, I just choked them out. Savage.
If I let you.
Transmission. Beat me if you can. Survive if I let you.
I'm gonna start walking around everywhere with an orange towel.
It has to be all torn up too.
What?
It has to be like all torn up too, like right over your head.
Yeah. The only downside is if anyone sees my legs, they'll instantly realize I'm nothing like Taz because they are way too skinny, and Taz has some of the best legs in the industry.
Keep the joggers on, buddy.
That's what all the girls
tell me. That up when this is finished. When JJ comes home at 3:00 after the Christmas do, keep the pants on, buddy.
I told you the joggers are the office attire of 2022. You heard it here first.
Big.
Maybe in Miami.
Took his head off. Look at that. He folded like a cheap suit.
Raging Bull.
Ooh.
Yeah. Manny Fernandez would flick back and forth between his Spanish.
We've not seen any Rick.
Well, this is 1985. He's a traveling world champion.
What a keen observation, Mr. Jacobs.
Just sad. We've come to the end of it. There's not been a bit of Rick. Just sad.
So at this time, again, Flair was still going to Japan like 4 or 5 times a year to defend the world's heavyweight title.
Life on the road, baby.
Yeah, and they were still the NWA was still part of like Florida territory. Go to Portland for Don Owens. Go to Kansas, which Dusty's already plugged us before. And Crockett's already bought that territory. But yeah, it seems like such a lesser show without Flair. Like the presence just for a 3-minute interview.
Yeah, I mean, it's like missing a little something.
That's 4 daddies already.
We're missing a little razzle dazzle, if I may say so myself.
Yeah. Again, that headband, I'm just thinking girls just want to have fun.
I was just gonna be like, what is with the headband?
6 daddies. Baby. Oh, thanks, John.
Switched it up.
He's drawing on his heroes, you know, you appreciate that.
He's doing his best, guys, okay? Just
yeah, that's true. He's like early. The weird thing is, like this time next year, him and Rick Rude become world tag team champions out of nowhere.
The Ravishing one.
And the Ravishing gets an offer to go north and just leave without dropping the belts.
Does that sound like someone we know?
I don't do no yabs.
I didn't dislike that. It was all right.
So Manny Fernandez is coming for the Anderson brothers, and Ole Anderson and Anderson Tele Blanchard. So there you go. That's Mid-Atlantic Wrestling from 21st December. JJ, that's kind of a drop off from the last few, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're missing Ric Flair, but that's okay. We got a little bit of and
Dusty. Cornette.
Yes, that's true actually as well. Cornette was probably the highlight of the last episode that we did. We got a little bit of Dusty. It was wasn't a legendary promo, but it had some nice lines. And you said the Andersons just taking names, getting ready to kick some ass.
You mean you didn't enjoy Dusty's Colorado?
Kind of bugs me more than anything, you know. I mean, it clearly ends in an O, Dusty. Why are you saying it as an A? But apart from that, I still love the guy.
Honestly, I clipped up an interview of him from December '86 where he goes, Ric Flair talks about all the women he's got. It's easy to find a dog at 3 o'clock in the morning. You understand? A lot of them be woof woofing. You know what I'm telling you? Wow, okay, Dream. Thank you very much. Yeah, listen, you can tell that this is now a bit of transition. They built everything towards Starcade, Magnum, and Tully, and the Andersons, Rock and Roll, Flair, and now they're going to try and go in a different direction and into 1986.
Yeah, I mean, I know you always call this the best year of wrestling.
86, not 85, yeah. We're getting there.
Oh, 86, not 85. Okay, so we're going into the best year of wrestling. I think a lot of those seeds are being sown where, the Horsemen are coming together. I'm really excited to see more of that. I mean, I like these quick programs, quick matches, but like people still get over, but they also they're entertaining. They're not like, and you see that the crowd is really into it too. And I think that gives a lot of value to us watching, because I can only imagine like how lit it was live. But yeah, all good stuff. I love Dusty's promos. I love Colorado. That's actually how I'm going to say it going forward.
Good old Dream. JJ, you were unhappy with Monday Night Raw from '96. Do we persevere with Mid-Atlantic heading into '86?
I'm always happy with the Mid-Atlantic.
Right, okay, so we will,
as long as the Andersons
try
are there,
to do better elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm always happy.
Should we start adding some Nitro maybe from '97?
I'll trust you.
Yes, approve.
Okay, we will.
No more '96 Raw, or JJ will quit.
I won't. I don't mind it. There's some good stuff in there, but yeah.
Yeah, we're doing '97. We're heading into better things. We've got Brett, Shawn, Owen, Bulldog. No Bulldog in the last one either. Weirdly enough, but the Smoking Guns are gone. Thankfully, they are out in the past now. And we will, fingers crossed, have a bit more, something better next year. But yeah, Mid-Atlantic heading into 1986. Early 97 Nitro, I think, will be the order of the day. And Lissy, you can go off and actually do some work done now. I'm sorry for taking up your time. JJ, I apologize for making your life miserable. It's, what can I say? I enjoy it a little bit anyway.
Been doing it for 5 years, don't stop now.
Big to this. Oh, friend. Excellent. Right. And on that note, I've got to go and pick up some baby clothes. Fingers crossed I can stick a cot together in the evening. It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from them. Bye, Lissy. Bye, John.
Bye, guys.